So what really happened here? I mean, it looked like a lot of magic. All we did was boot up 4 things and copy a WAR file, but a lot did actually go on there. So we look at the logs of our management appliance. So here you can see that it's running every few seconds to take a look at what instances we have launched on EC2. When it finds one that we've launched, it will go and talk to it and say, what kind of appliance are you? Are you a front end? Are you back end? Whatever. That appliance tells us. When the management node finds a front end appliance, it goes and tells all the back end appliances, hey guys, the front end's over here. And that's how the back end uses JGroups. It will go touch the front end and rendezvous with the other cluster nodes. And it also starts participating in the mod cluster load balancer in the worker list. And so that's the management appliance kind of coordinating all this stuff. But like I said, we're going to be moving that to Jopper-based stuff, so we don't have our own little scripts out there anymore. On each node, you'll see the common log lines you're used to seeing in cluster formation, where a node tells you who it is and some new member joined and what the total cluster view looks like. This has happened automatically because each backend node knows the front end node and have rendezvoused through the JGroups gossip router. So we have an app that's out there. It's a relatively trivial one, but somehow it got posted on Dig, and we got a lot of people coming now, and we need to scale up. So what do we do with that? Well, we need to grow our cluster. So once again, we find an AMI for the back end, just like the other 2 back end nodes we've already run, and we just launch one more of those guys. So we're now going from 2 back end nodes to 3 back end nodes. And we wait for Amazon and go get a cup of coffee. So here, we launched just one more. You could launch 2 more, you could launch 10 more if you wanted. Click the big button and time will pass. And thankfully, due to the farming service, well, it's starting right now, but thanks to the farming service, we don't have to put our app on our newly added cluster node. It just shows up. Once again, we go to mod cluster and we see that it's found that 3rd node. It has the app already copied to it. The app is spread out onto the nodes we just booted up. So all we did was launch another instance, and there we go. And so we turn off cookies and we start reloading, and we see 161 and 208 and 162 now. It's now hitting all 3 backend nodes. And so we've very quickly just kind of scaled up our application by launching another node. We haven't had to redeploy our app. We haven't had to copy it anywhere. We haven't had to configure anything to grow our cluster. And you just keep reloading. Mod cluster has some logic as far as telling which backend node's going to get it. It's not just a round robin, as you'll see. We'll bounce between a couple of nodes, and it'll find the 3rd node. So what's really going on here in the EC2 environment is we booted up our management appliance, and it goes and asks the EC2 services for the list of all the instances that we own that are running. And then it will go talk to each of those instances. And it'll ask that instance, hey, are you there? Can I ping you? Are you running our little app that tells us what you are? And as front-end appliances do, and they say, hey, I'm a front-end appliance. The back-end appliance says, hey, I'm a back-end appliance. If you've booted up something that's not playing in this cluster and it's not running our little node info app that tells it what it is, well, we just ignore it. It's just some other EC2 instance you've booted up. And so we just ignore it. It falls out. And the management appliance, once it's found a front end, any back end it sees, it will go and inject the front end. It will kind of reconfigure it, and then it will start the AS. There's no reason to start the AS in a cluster if you don't have a front end running, so we kind of delay that until enough things are available and the dependencies have been satisfied, and then it will just start right up. So for app deployment, as I keep saying, the farming service, that disappeared in 5.0, but it came back in 5.1. And it makes life really easy, because now all you have to do is just get your app to the cluster, and the way you do that is you stick it on one node, and that node will make sure that it gets to the other nodes. And not just at deployment time, but as you grow your cluster, as new nodes are added, that app will continue to spread out to these additional nodes. So now our roadmap as far as where we're going to go from here is that we need to have advanced DHCP management and routing. So if you're running basically an internal cloud where you're not running with an EC2 who provides the DHCP server, we need to have a way to give you DHCP inside your internal cloud. We need to possibly route between an internal cloud and the public internet, because your back-end nodes, you don't necessarily want those exposed and available out in the front end. We need to do some EBS, some elastic block storage. Because currently our database appliance, it boots up, it works really good, but you turn it down, your data's gone. That's not awesome. And then, as I said, we're going to be replacing all of our management tools that we've been doing with John or Jopper type of stuff. And then we want to kind of expand the footprint. So far, all we've really done is the app server, but JBoss has a lot of technologies. We've got ESB, Governor would be a good candidate, possibly the MetaMatrix JBoss DNA stuff, or even Portal, just so it's very easy to get a new app up and running or a new service up and running. If you would like to go play with this today, you can go do exactly what I did. You can run this demo on EC2 if you have an account. You can go straight to the oddthesis.org website and you can download the images for VMware, Xen, or KVM or whatnot, or you can play with our AMIs as they exist on Amazon right now. Or for further information, if you want, you can go to the JBoss Cloud or Cloud Support projects on the site. We have a Lighthouse, which is a bug tracker if you have any problems or any requests. We're looking for use cases of what people want to run in the cloud, what would make you guys happy to be able to boot up quickly. And then we have the last one there is our release page that tells you about all the AMIs that we have published, and when we have out a new beta, we'll list them there. So that's the entirety of this presentation, and I'd be happy to take questions at this point.